Satnam, offering a pick a card reading, and as always, explore what resonates. You are your greatest teacher. Let this be a reminder of what you already know to be true, or insights to enhance your experience and continue on your journey wholeheartedly. I invite you to take a few breaths to center yourself and ask your higher self, your guides, to come in clearly. Perhaps doing a mental scan of what thoughts might be churning, and just turn down the volume of the repetitive or perpetual thought loop that overrides your intuition, your higher self, your higher calling. If there's any emotions present, just kind of taking note of that, inviting that to either be released or transmuted, or the clarity to come through. Notice in your physical body where you can kind of just unwind your shoulders, lift a little taller, maybe it's a little stretch or a yawn. And as you allow your eyes to kind of scan through the cards, what calls to your attention from that place of higher calling or higher self? Just become aware of what you need to receive, and let this be a beginning, and open your heart to receive. Continue to receive clarity, insights, and healing on your journey. I'll put timestamps down below for the cards. This first card called to you, there may be a message here for you. 16-7, what are you learning? What are you overcoming? Soul healing. How is your soul leading the way? How is your third eye opening, and what is becoming clear to you as you look through the past into a clear lens of today to navigate growing forward from here? Align with your essence. See your true colors. And maybe the colorful being you are is exactly what the world needs. Maybe exploring the world of color and imagination is exactly what this world needs. Maybe it's exactly what you need to tune into. Maybe playing games, maybe doing art, getting a little messy, taking some healthy risks, tuning into your inner child, and allowing that experience to radiate from the inside out so that you can lead your way forward. And if there's this bundle you've been carrying, or this load you've been carrying, notice if where the desire to hold on to that, or the desire to please or give up service, and let it come through with love. Come through with love. Bottom deck is the Empress, or Emperor, excuse me, Aries. Front runner energy. 7 of Wands, we see it again. So overcoming absurdity, I was going to say, is maybe the world's absurd and you're fucking phenomenal. Rising above adversity, having courage and tenacity to continue. Notice what fights are, what fight is there for you to continue? Fight the good fight, choose your battles, and let it come from the soul. Fight for yourself and what you truly believe in. Next. And maybe it's kind of hard to discern, which way do I go? And what do you want to carry with you on your journey? When you look through your kingdom, If you were to sit with your imagination, the insights of what you want in your kingdom, what does that look like? When you raise your frequency, so not when you're like toiling between the ears and you make a decision, but when you ground yourself and elevate your energy, what do you feel? Cheshire Cat, like what's leading you astray versus what do you know? There's an adventure here on earth, and that's okay. Have the courage to continue. There's a divine plan here that others can't see. And there's free will to continue. You can stay in the cycle you've been in, and that's okay. Or you can take note of the frequency that your soul wants to vibe with, the soul tribe that elevates you. And when you start to feel the resistance from the external world, not so much your emotional or mental body, how that kicks up, but when spirit is actually putting up perceivable roadblocks or continuing to put up some sort of invisible fence around you, how can you see that as intuitive insights to say, hey, maybe this isn't for me and there's a new way to proceed? Two of Wands. This is beautiful with the Emperor card. When you sit with the world you want to create, what does that look like? What does that feel like? Who's involved in your fairy tale? Who's involved with your master plan? And who's part of this energy that perpetuates what feels unclear? And when manifesting and healing, there's a sense of unknowing, right? A sense of trusting in the divine plan. And are there naysayers around you? And that's the good fight to rise above that. And if the naysayer is you, that's a good fight to rise above that. So discerning in the mental body to allow the transition to set sail. So the thoughts of going back and forth anchoring you down versus allowing the energy body to propel you forward from the clarity of the third eye, from this kind act of service and healing from you to you with this like like Jack and the Beanstalk kind of energy, like cut the ties to like that. And I'm sorry for Capricorns out there, but that like, I'm seeing like the Devil card, that like earthly energies, the earthbound energies, and elevate your frequency to manifest rather than toil, to create rather than fight or flee. What you need to receive might be counter to what you originally were programmed in the mental body to receive, or what your family lineage or your experiences has taught you, like that first way or mode of thinking. Saying the word regression, so whether it is hypnosis, but there might be some regression in the mental body that as cleared through the recreational, through the in moderation, through the energetic body to create. But it's with that intention to heal, rather like there, you can bring that playful energy, but it's not an escape, it's a portal in to wipe the slate clean, to heal for your truth and your true calling. Bare your soul. Queen of Hearts. Bottom Jack. I almost want to flip this. Oh, surrendering. coddling and loving and discerning? What frequency are you dialed into and accustomed to? And can you rise above that? And that is letting go of the thoughts of the way you think things ought to be, to the possibilities of a future grander than where you came from. So it's cleaning up. And your cleaning up is going in all directions to those that you... My book of Helen Keller is standing out about her religion. So your success and emotional freedom, however you were presented with physical abilities or inabilities, perceivable inabilities, tune into the gifts that gives you, and let the mind start to dial down and the energy body elevate the emotional frequency to which you sit into, like an emotional cup. Like, are you dwelling in one cup, and can you pour another glass? Seeing like champagne, like celebrate life, or not. I am not like promoting drinking, and I know that's not for everyone, but it's more like a cup of celebration for life rather than this like heavy, like Lord Handsome is coming up, like this heavy drink that holds you back, this heavy emotion that holds you back, this heavy thought or filter that holds you back, and surrender to the divine that they have and see some magic in you, and they knew it when they implanted you on this planet. Ooh. So bottom deck, you are in co-creation with the universe. Dial in. How will you spread your wings? How will you reach up? How will you bare your soul and give to you? It's okay to do that thing you've been wanting to do. Play, love, experience, create, do that thing. Oh my goodness. So the next bottom deck energy, speaking of champagne, is celebrate the little things in everyday life. You are worth celebrating. Life is worth celebrating. The magic of the divine that we quite often cannot comprehend is worth celebrating, as painful as it might be. I feel like it's our resistance that creates the pain, and our diving into delusion and escaping the pain is what perpetuates it. And our fear of feeling versus going up and intuiting. Is that even a word? Intuit. There's a master plan here. And are you fighting it? Luck is on your side. That horseshoe is like standing up. Count your blessings. Question your thoughts. So when you get in this place of going back and forth, where are those thoughts coming from? Are they implanted as in created based on experience, what someone told you? Are you protecting yourself? Are you hiding? Grit, grace, and gratitude. So the Seven of Wands, tenacity, energy, like keep going, keep growing. And it is like working through with this mindset. And maybe it is creating a mantra. Bottom deck, pray in every way. So it's not the thoughts, but it's surrendering to a force, a higher power, a love, and allowing the expansion, allowing the celebration, allowing the light, allowing the transformation, and allowing yourself to be exactly who you incarnated to be on this planet. Have some fun with it. The realization to make the next step that you have, that what you've been questioning, is like right around the corner, but there's just like this last leg to go. Like that passing the baton. It's like the fourth and final. Oh no, another. It's up to you. And you have to make the decision to make the change. And choice to heal. But you don't do that healing alone. You don't do that healing alone. You don't do that healing alone. And if you surrender the thoughts, it's all on you. Can you find the lightness? Can you find the clarity? Well, I do hope this served well. Sending lots of light and love. If this second card called to you, there might be a message here for you. 14 to 5. Change is here and there's more work to be done. And yet you hold the flame, you hold the torch to the next step. And look at all the light around her that's leading the way. Look at the unicorn behind her to support her. And yet she still has to make the step. She being the human in the picture, but this is not a gender-specific reading. Stand in your power. So perhaps it's time to do some physical work with the body, whether that is doing some grounding work, whether it is to notice how your feet touch the earth. If there's an inversion or eversion of the ankle joint, maybe it's doing some work there to find solid ground in your alignment. Maybe it's time to do some work with the pelvis to balance out the tilt of the pelvis, some stretching to release the emotional body, what's being held and stored there in that sacral chakra. Maybe some core work to find your power, your dantian. Maybe some other form of movement or like sound. And letting that sound come from the belly. Let it come from your power. Be passionate about your vision. Bring about positive change. And so being strong in your divinity, being strong in your stance, then allows others to follow, or you are paving the way. It's like you're weeding through, creating a path for others. And yet it's through the work that you do that allows that to come through with heart, truth, and integrity. Free will. So not to be afraid of having that place to teach, because it's a choice to learn. And it's not your job to impart, rather to be present and aware of your emotional boundaries, aware of your strength, aware of what you can and can't take on, like know your lane, know your role kind of energy. And really fine-tuning your role, your skill set. And that's where the harmony comes in. And you'll start to dial in who is meant for you to teach and learn from. Maybe working with some labradorite. Oh, you got a lot that just fell out here. I'm gonna reshuffle that because I like got cards flipped around here. I got a lot falling out. Maybe that's it. There's just some work to do. And I feel like that's body work. But listen to your insights. And so always consult your physician before changing your diet, doing exercises. I'm laughing just because like you got to do what's right for you. And you have to listen to you and take care of you. Maybe the fear of the cultural certitudes are kind of getting in your way, and just like knowing that your existence here on earth makes a difference and there's a role you play to help others. That's it. Ooh. Oh, I love it. Bottom deck, High Priestess. Page of Cups. There's messages through your emotional body. There's something that you're teaching. I really get that. I get that really strongly. There's this teaching component here. And that it comes from a place of history, historical lineage, and it might not feel comfortable balancing what was downloaded or what was kind of like you were brought here on the planet with, and your intuitive insights, and finding a way to work with the emotional bodies to teach, helping others work with the emotional body, helping others to clear, allowing the emotions to be something that we, and perhaps like vulnerability and emotional insight to be something we value as part of the intuitive insight rather than shunned and shamed. And perhaps it's about having a clear perspective based on the emotions rather than this like this outburst or emotional intelligence. Let's just clean it up with that. You don't have to know all the answers. It's like feeling it out, and maybe you're helping others learn to feel it out and see, but it's not you doing the work, it's happening through you. Notice the unicorn behind and how the light just lines up. And so as you heal your body and work with your physical body, you become that vessel of intuitive insights and learning through the emotional body, teaching through the emotional body. And so that when you're heavy working in the emotional body, and that's part of the way you receive information and how you were brought here to teach, is that it requires you to drink more water. It requires you to continuously clear because you're the vessel through which it works through, if that makes sense. It's kind of like how we take a shower every day and brush our teeth. You have emotional work, you have healing, like clearing to do, and that's part of your power. And in doing so, not in a textbook fashion, but in textbook start is a good place to start, but really based on intuition. Where it is feet in the earth, whether it is diving in the waters, taking that bath, whatever, standing in the moonlight, drinking moon water, whatever it is for you. There's just some examples. Charcoal. I don't know, charcoal, you work with that. Perhaps some boundaries to put forth. Energetic boundaries. So you're not taking on, but let it pass through, or let spirit take it for you. Bottom deck energy, ace, clarity. Let the universe help you. And perhaps it's not about enabling. So if you're triggered by someone else's emotional response, your job isn't to take that emotion away. Oh, as a parent, that's so hard. Because we can't fix it for them, but you give the toolbox or the ear. And that's where the victory comes and the growth comes. This is a fawn. This isn't a fully matured. So cutting some boundaries, speaking your truth, knowing seasons, perhaps. I really feel like your power is working with your helpers and asking them to come in and do some of the work for you. It's like saying the prayer when you feel, to allow your guides to bring in the information, the clarity, to allow your guides to create that there's some sort of boundary with your intuition, so you're not taking on. And as you start to manage the emotional, energetic bodies, things will become more clear. I don't know why they're saying recreational again. Maybe some people are diving in a little too deep. I'm not sure. I don't want to promote heavy use of substances, but the second reading it doesn't come up. Maybe it's about having some fun. I'm not sure. Stand in your power. Be passionate about your vision. And making sure that you're leading with heart and there's some learning involved. And as you learn and grow, things will become more clear and your intuition will pour through. Your insights will become more clear. You're not going to be as afraid to go. Slipped out. Aww. Bottom deck. Embrace your inner and outer beauty. Free will. They can't intervene without you asking or giving permission. And so they're here to assist you on your journey, but it requires you to ask. It's like if you're given a homework assignment from your teacher and you don't ask your teacher or your peers or your parents for help, no one knows that you need that help. So needing to ask for whatever it is that you're transitioning through or learning. Off swing, that means anything. Work easy, allow yourself to be in the flow and enjoy what you do. And it doesn't mean that we only do what comes easy, but it takes practice. And while I was never a good golfer, I felt like I spent my whole time in the woods looking for my ball. So if you know golf, you might take this another way, but it really is like, to me, a mental game. Lining up, your stance has to be right. You have to know where you're going, what tools to use, have this vision, and the body has to be in alignment to get the full range of motion and follow through with your swing. The right club, the right tools matter. The right shoes, the right fit matters. And knowing when to use what. The terrain on the course, the other obstacles in the way. And so your guides are willing to help you navigate your course, and it's you embracing, okay, I cannot drive this ball all the way to the green. I'm going to have to take this in 2 stages, right? Oh, there's a little turn there. Oh, there's a sand trap. Let me try driving the ball in this direction. So it's not going all the way. Seeing the bigger picture where you want to go, but understanding that it takes steps. Understanding that there's growth here. Understanding the emotions that come in and loving yourself and listening to your guides, allowing the transformation, setting forth the boundary, speaking your truth. Free will. You might be crying like you want some help, but you're not asking for it. You gotta ask for it. And that help can come in more forms. So as you ask for it, being open to receive, being willing to let go. Oh, my guides gave me that message recently. I had, I was in a vulnerable place and I needed help. I needed help healing. And my guides literally told me, you're gonna have to give up control. Ooh, ouch. Every part of me was like, what? Did not want that. But not everything is in our control, and we do need help, and trusting that there is a safe landing. Where do you want to go? Where's your nice people? And there's some practice you might have to get out on the range to practice. And so what is that equivalent to for you, whether it's a course, whether it's a book, a mentor? It's like testing your limits, but not working yourself to the limits. You know, like not working yourself to the bone, but really be willing to move outside of your comfort zone to grow. What if you couldn't fail? What if this is just like a place on your journey, and like it's like you're in elementary school, you still have to go work your way to college. Like there's so much more. That's what I was looking right there. Or like your guides are watching you, guiding you. It's like you have a caddy and you have the full golf cart. You just need to talk to your guides. They'll help you. I feel like it's through the emotional body that they work. Offer it up. So something needs to be released. Your resistance, they're saying. Know when. Know when to ask for help. Know when to rest. Know when to rest. Notice. Ooh, full steam ahead is not always the way. My dear, you can burn yourself out. Take this in steps. One assignment at a time. One emotion, one thought. You are leveling up. And every day there's a win. Embrace it. Every day there's beauty and magic. Embrace it. There's goodness in who you are. If it's not bringing you happiness, why? It's time for change. And know as you make room for new, like you have to make that room. You have to make that room. You can't carry it all with you. Trust your intuitive insight. Clear what's clouding your vision. Clear what you cannot control. Clear what you can is no longer meant to hold on to. And be willing to express yourself, and if people aren't comfortable with that, that's their problem. And as you ask for help, even on the material or physical plane, it's someone's choice to say yes or no. It's up to, not only is it up to you to set your boundary, as you communicate your needs, that other person has a choice. And how beautiful it is when we allow someone to help us. Coming from someone who resists that, yeah? You're giving a gift yourself by being you, and you are needed here. Keep growing. Your growth doesn't need explanation. Your wisdom needs to shine through, if that makes sense. Time for a happy dance. Sending lots of light and love your way. Send them. create your own reality. If this third card called to you, there may be a message here for you. What were you destined to do? And what do you know to be true? You create your own reality. I don't know why this. Maybe it's the perception of the past. Because the family is really standing out. What you hold to. What were you given? What are you giving birth to, and how are you here to transmute that? Focus on your vision. Seek satisfaction and contentment. So when something isn't working, the rainbow is standing out. So balancing your energy, working with the chakras, or knowing that along the way, chasing rainbows. It's not like a rainbow comes out after the rain, right? The healing comes after the tears. The pot of gold comes after the adventure. And maybe there is something about the day-to-day of finding magic in the family that you're in or created, or all parts of you connecting, rather than this fragmented internal reality, but a love of you, a love of life. Listening deeper and going in. No need to run from everything. Sit with it. Maybe it's not on to the next one. Maybe right here is a wonderful platform to continue to grow. Maybe it's not stagnation. Maybe it is a rebirth in the current circumstance. 7 of Pentacles. Confusion. Putting an end to the confusion. Maybe you weren't at fault. Maybe it wasn't fair. Maybe it's time to stop drowning and start living. We can't change the past, but we can transmute it. I'm sorry that there's pain here, and reasonably so, but work with heart rather than continue to run, mask, or mute what your soul or heart wants. Putting an end to the confusion. Are you putting up a shield to your university? I don't know why university came up. Are you shielding yourself from your own abundance, your own true happiness, by whatever you're doing in excess, and putting an end to that and letting that rest? And it's kind of like, as you clean that up and heal that, it's like you're, I don't know why I'm seeing like a scroll with a, like a, kind of like in the High Priestess card, there's she holds the scroll, and it's like, as you clean this up and break down your own shield and come into your own heart, this then confusion kind of melts away. This excess, this way that you're overthinking, overanalyzing, or numbing out with substance, then gets laid to rest and you move on. Or ex-partnerships, something in the family line, to then create what you want. Something in your past that's kind of driving this. So then you're shielding what can be now, putting an end to the shield, putting an end to the overindulgence, letting the thoughts that are coupled with that rest, putting the shame to rest, and finding your true calling, your true bliss, your true happiness, and your success here. And no shame or regret. It was part of your path. And it was the only way that you could come up with to cope. See, like the cheetah from the Cheetos. I don't know why. I don't know why. Oh my gosh, and your fingers get so messy. I don't know why that's coming up. And I'm sorry to laugh if that is hurtful to hear. Maybe it's okay to get messy as a kid, or messy as an adult, and let your inner child play, because we can always clean it up. What if you take a step in the direction of your abundance, or maybe in the process of cleaning it up, there's just a little bit of mess there, and that's okay. No shame, no shame. I did what was his little tagline from the Cheetos? He'd be like, ain't so easy being cheesy or something. I don't know. Well, listen to the messages in your dreams. And so again, back to creating your reality, there's something that you want to receive, there's something you want to build, and you can do it. And maybe it is about getting clear rather than going in all directions. Maybe you're in protective mode. Maybe you're in protective mode. And some of that's good, right? And maybe those walls need to come down. Could be protecting yourself from your own insights, your own helpers that are here for you. And listening to who's, I'm going to say loyal because a dog, your dreams are going to teach you a little bit more, and you can ask for the emotional body to clear. You can ask for healing in the night, or don't sleep on your dreams. Maybe there's something you need to do about this, wherever this is. Knowledge and learning empower you. Speaking at university, you must have some work to do. I mean that in a good way. Writing a book, learning, listening, the building blocks of your experience and all the classes, all the assignments. She's not happy right now. Maybe you're not happy with where things are. And so how can you co-create a new existence for yourself and like roll up your sleeves? And like the writing's been on the wall to make that change. Create that stability. What's being delivered to you, through your experience? How are you delivering something? How are you pushing people away? How are you letting people in? Where's the emotional resistance and how is that playing out? Are you creating that barricade from your own abundance, stability, and magic? Like self-sabotage, maybe? Keep learning. I don't know what fell out. You got a couple that fell out. Love yourself. Love you. Explore your rhythm. Dancing with the divine. Bottom deck. Know when. I'm going to take this as know when to let go, when to stop, when to take that healthy risk. There is a time to shield up and bark. There is an appropriate time. And then there's also sometimes time to sit back and trust. And with the 10 of Pentacles, the shield with the heart, just really listening to your heart and cleaning in the emotional body with love from you, from all that you are, and explore knowledge, explore your experience, your inner world. Your demons don't have to haunt you. Your past perception doesn't have to be what leads the way. And maybe it's not about the degree. I mean, it could be at the collegiate level, but it more is like your experience is enough. You are enough. and putting an end to the resistance. Putting an end to the resistance. Will you let someone in? Will you let something come to an end? And will you allow love to prevail? And love for you is not dancing in delusion, it's dancing with the divine. Know what's yours to continue with, your own patterns and own self-sabotage, and what you've learned. I feel like this is a good place to, to move on from. Thank you for your listening, and my apologies from the background noise. This last card called to you, there may be a message here for you. Cosmic Pearl, 34 to 7, learning, but it feels more like the end of learning, like you're right on the brink of this infinite growth and possibility. Expand your psychic gifts, open up to the gate to the angelic realms, and know that you are being transferred. Transferred to another station. I don't know. Oh my goodness. Okay, so the Matrix, I don't know why it's coming up, the program, and she gets moved, right? In the train station. It's been so long since I've seen that movie, so I don't even know. But as soon as I saw Cosmic Pearl, I was thinking like oyster, like the world is your oyster, but also that one grain of sand, that one point of contention ends up being what creates something beautiful. Empress, you are that. And you have help here. Page of Swords, learning to listen. I'm taking that. Queen of Pentacles, to create, I'm going to say manifest and nurture. Bountiful, beautiful, blissful mind. And so transitioning as you listen from the Queen of Pentacles to the Empress, they're similar energies. They just hold different places on the board, different court, different insights. And so you're like right on the precipice. And will you walk through the great gate to find your wings and fly? So there is some earthly energy that you will need to let go of to ascend. And will you trust the ascension process and how they are teaching you to transcend? Grow and let go. And the magic happens in that process of how your guides are teaching you to set course. There's something very beautiful about taking that journey, that cosmic journey. And while you will still need to navigate and listen on the material, there will be another energy frequency in your body that allows you to navigate Such a beautiful journey. Oh, I saw one movie with girl from the Silence of the Lambs, but she had the one about her dad, and she had this experience, and like to her it was transformative, and she went on, and I think if I have it right, the movie like showed her experience, but on the earthly plane it was like, oh, that was a failure, that was a bust, but she still had that magic and that insight within, you know. Does that make any sense? Consider the love that you give for you and how you can work with the love of the angelic. And maybe it is through cards for you. It doesn't have to be. Maybe it is the physical body. Maybe it's the emotional body. Being willing to explore your starseed energy, if that's applicable. Bottom deck. Following your passions, that you're not alone with that. The moves you make matter. And do you make the moves with the pain in mind, or as you have transmuted the pain as an experience on the heavenly earth, but being guided from the angelic realm? It doesn't have to hold you back, but it can bring you, oh my goodness, the next bottom deck energy fell. Let me get that, see if I can do this without falling on my behind. I sound all country. And so the pain might be like these like pieces of you, right? Like when we look at a human, we see the skin, and then there's like what marketing teaches us is beautiful, and like the 8 of diamonds is like the success, but nobody really knows what happens on the inside. Nobody knows the steps you've taken. Nobody knows the pain that you've gone through. Nobody knows how you've gone down to the bare bones of who you are. Transference and countertransference. I don't know why that's coming up. Don't let anyone play games with your pain. Maybe. Because they don't know your truth and your true calling. So trusting in that magic. And so the page might also be coming in to navigate with boundaries, with knowledge and communication, and still learning your frequency, fortitude, but really nurturing, kind of like Easter egg kind of energy. Doesn't have to be a game. It should be pretty straightforward. Just saying. And you can outwit that, but it comes from this place. Using this. Weed your garden. Weed your garden. And how do you toil the soil? How do you plant those seeds? How do you nurture your growth? How do you let the sun in? Like, you work with the elements. But it's not like why you might need to explore the pain and let the tears come. It's not from pain that you dig the hole. You bury the hatchet and you let something nurture and foster from that. You let the grain of sand turn into the pearl. You let the seed blossom into this rose. And to your core, you know who you are, and there's success. But that success is your inner knowing from the heavenly. Manage your energy to create that success. Like it will, you're going to create. You're going to do this thing. There's some strategic ways you care for yourself. And there are some steps and planning in creating and manifesting. And Spirit's at your side. And what are your tools? What is your truth? allowing that to expand. Like, put your crown on and sit on your yoga mat. Be that. But also being willing to get to work. So there's more of a humble energy about the Queen of Pentacles versus the Queen of Wands. Because you've already done the work. Spend some time on self-care. Speaking of doing the work. So it's interesting here because this feels like working with the emotional body in some way. Maybe you defy logic. Your ability to heal and heal others and work with your pain or what you've gone through defies logic. Speaking of boundaries, it's okay to say no. So without taking this time for you, you don't transmute the pain. And instead you get dragged down. So being willing to speak your truth, be willing to set boundaries and set yourself a new course, and taking that time to break the mold and ascend and align. Ascend and align. So letting the light into the bare bones. There's a gift in who you are and the pain that you've endured, and what are you going to do with it? Weed your garden. Weed your garden. Say no. Maybe even practice saying no. And while no might not have been no at some point in your life, no can be no going forward. And so there is somebody who does some work on saying no and working with the voice and words to stand your ground, to speak boundaries. What is her name? I don't know her name. I can just see some of her YouTube coming through. If it comes to me, I'll link it for you. Maybe it is finding some self-empowerment. It's cats here. In your intuition saying no. Cats, they like, they get what they want. They get what they need. What do you need for you? I'm saying like about playing games and being catty, but like, you need your bath, you need your alone time, you need a walk in nature. Make the time for it. It's not personal, but if you can't show up to the table with a good frequency because you depleted yourself, what good are you to anyone? And then you just perpetuate the pain and patterns, right? Spend some time on self-care. Invest in your garden. Invest in you. The moon is standing out, so maybe making some sort of commitment to the new moon or the full moon to care for you. Bottom deck. Tune into the divine. Then pursue R. Step back and reevaluate how you're caring for yourself, how you're giving to others, how the pain is leading, how people around you might be perpetuating the pain. Love is the answer. And so love from you to you, or love even from you to another human being, it's not love if you're depleting yourself. It's not love if the situation is karmic, or it's not love if the emotions you're going through in a connection are spinning your wheels. It's not love if the interaction is like putting salt on a wound. Is the interactions you're having putting salt in your wound? Weed your garden, set your boundaries, speak your piece. It might be time to kind of go into some sort of hibernating, like hermit mode, to really dial in to what you need and let it come in from above. Alignment. How are you in alignment with your truth and what you know to be true for you, and what is not in alignment? What is taking you off course? What is hurting your body? What is draining you? Who is draining you, and how? And how is that draining coming from, like, the patterns of the past? Like, sometimes it's like You can be so smart that you see that the way someone else is playing out their games is really their own insecurities or their own pains in the past. But it doesn't mean you enable them. It doesn't mean that you keep pouring into the cup, right? Because you also have to take care of you, and you matter. Take a step in the direction of your garden and your bliss. And those who are meant to follow you on your path and support you will continue to help you grow and nurture. And if, again, that salt on the wound is there, how can you nurture your wounds, your pain, and heal? But heal not, I mean, you could use the human helpers here, but really it's getting real and clear with yourself and allowing the love come in from above. Allow the love to come in from above. They're saying it again. Allow the love to come in from above. So maybe you're chasing a relationship or looking for validation through other human beings, and it needs to come from the divine. And it shows itself through the human helpers. The divine will show you how there are humans here to give back to you. It's interesting not to see the Six of Pentacles actually come out on the board. But the six is, whoops, maybe need a partner that does a little more give and take. I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, does that really need to come out that way? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. It's okay to say no. It's okay to say yes to your own success, needs, and core essence. What will allow you to nurture your own growth and expansion, and that's important. And that's a possibility worth investing in. Sending lots of light and love your way. So no.